Ulrich, a very good morning to you and welcome to AM. What do you make of the judgment?
Morning. Thank you for having me. Well, it was clear yesterday that Judge Masipa was going to convict him of culpable homicide, obviously rejecting the state's argument that Oscar had acted with intention to kill Riva or to kill anyone. She said yesterday already that his actions amounted to being negligent, and that is the definition of culpable homicide. It is the negligent, unlawful killing of another person, and she effectively found that he could not foresee that his actions would kill anyone, and it was through pure negligence that he did kill Riva Steenkamp. Obviously, it's elicited quite a bit of criticism and quite a bit of controversy amongst legal experts all over. People saying that she applied the test for murder dolus eventualis incorrectly, and that test states clearly that should a person, knowing that if he acts in a certain way that could lead to the death of another person, he still reconciles himself with that fact and acts accordingly, then he is guilty of murder dolus eventualis. But the judge interpreted it in a manner that she said that he must have foreseen that he would kill Riva Steenkamp specifically, and that he thought that he was shooting at an intruder. So certainly some controversy surrounding that, and one would have to wait and see whether the state do indeed choose to appeal against that conviction.
She also mentioned dolus directus or dolus directus. Can you explain that concept for us?
Well, dolus directus is a spur of the moment action. It is when a person decides that he wants to kill someone. Let's use an example. He takes out his gun, he puts it to the person's head, and he shoots that person with a direct intention to kill that person. Now, that is very distinct from dolus eventualis, where dolus eventualis is that you should foresee that a certain result will occur if you act in that way, and that you reconcile yourself with that fact and still act accordingly. So two very distinct concepts. She also obviously referred to the charge of premeditated murder. Now, that is an interesting charge. It is not defined in our Criminal Procedure Act as a charge as such, but a person can be convicted of premeditated murder. And it states as follows, that if a person makes a plan to kill someone, he arms himself with the necessary tools or equipment in order to execute that plan, and he executes that plan accordingly, then a person can be convicted of premeditated murder. The judge obviously rejecting the WhatsApp messages which the state led in order to try and prove that they were arguing, as well as the screams heard by the neighbors, as well as the gastric emptying testimony by Professor Gert Simon, which the state alleges that they had an argument at 1 o'clock in the morning, and that as a result of that argument, Oscar decided to kill Riva. So that testimony was rejected in totality by the judge, and she only said that he had acted negligently.
Now, on the charge of culpable homicide, what sort of sentence can he expect?
Well, there is no prescribed minimum sentence for culpable homicide. It could range between being a completely suspended sentence to correctional supervision, which means that he'll be placed under house arrest, to serving a jail sentence. So it's really, one cannot predict what kind of sentence she will hand down, but the factors which he will need to consider are the level of negligence, the surrounding circumstances, his personal circumstances, obviously the fact that he is a disabled person, as well as the fact that whether she's going to find that he's truly showed remorse for killing Riva Steenkamp, or whether that remorse and emotional outbursts of his are actually as a result of him realizing that he's destroyed his entire life, his own life. So these are all factors that she will need to consider, and she will be furnished with that evidence one would expect by the state and the defense when they argue in mitigation and aggravation of sentence. I think one could expect that the matter will be postponed today for a few weeks in order for the parties to prepare themselves for the sentencing, and one could expect that the defense certainly will lead evidence of psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers who have evaluated Oscar, as well as family members or friends who will come and testify as to his good character, and obviously then argue that he is a person who should not be sent to jail.
Now, on count 3, discharging a firearm in a public place, he's been also found guilty. That firearm discharge in Tashes. What can he face there? What sort of sentence can we look at?
Well, once again, that charge also does not carry a minimum sentence, and I think one could expect a suspended sentence to be imposed regarding that. It obviously is serious if one does discharge a firearm negligently in a public place, but seen in the context that he has no previous convictions, he has not been convicted of a similar matter before, that this would be a first offence, it would in all likelihood be a suspended sentence.
Can any of these charges be appealed?
Sorry, I'm hearing other voices now.
No, just to make sure that you hear me, Ulrich, can any of the charges be appealed?
Sorry, I was just interrupted by other voices on the line. Just repeat that.
Let me try again. Ulrich, do you think that any of the charges, the culpable homicide charge as well as count 3 of discharging a firearm in a public place, can they be appealed by the state?
Well, that's interesting. The state can only appeal on grounds of the law. So, in other words, they cannot appeal on grounds where they say that the judge misinterpreted the facts of the case. They can only appeal if they base it on the argument that they say that the law and the test in this particular instance, the test of murder dolus eventualis, was incorrectly interpreted and applied by the judge. So only if they have a strong argument pertaining to that will they be in a position to lodge an application for leave to appeal and then to take it on appeal. But certainly the rumours have been doing the rounds that Harry Null has already indicated that he is going to appeal the conviction and that he truly believes that the judge misinterpreted the law and that she did not apply the law correctly.
Will the defence team and Oscar Pistorius sleep a little better tonight?
No, definitely. I think it is a big victory for Oscar and his defence team. I mean, he certainly had a strong case against him for murder dolus eventualis, and I think they will be very relieved at the outcome.
Now, there has been mixed reaction even on the social pages about the judgment, with some saying that the judge was lenient. What do you think, or why do you think they say that this judgment has stirred so much debate in public space?
Well, I think because of the fact that obviously Oscar is a very public figure and this is a high-profile case, and there's obviously been all the arguments that because he's a celebrity, he receives preferential treatment, all of those. But I think it was clear during the trial that Oscar, in fact, received no preferential treatment. If anyone looked at his cross-examination by Harry Null, they would agree that he received no favours and he was not treated in a different manner as to anyone else. In fact, I think because it was in such a public forum and there was so much attention on the case that, he might have even, Harry Null would have upped his game for this trial, that is for sure. So I think that will be one of the reasons. I mean, there are so many speculations going on as well and people saying that this judgment is racially motivated and all of that, and I don't think there's any grounds for that, for people to make comments such as that. One must look at it as a purely legal argument, and one must look at it from the point of view that the judge, she has been objective throughout this trial and that she handed down an objective judgment. She interpreted the law in a way which she seemed fit to, and of course not everyone's going to be happy with it, but that doesn't give people the right to claim that it's racially motivated, or that because of Oscar the fact that he's a celebrity has influenced this trial.
Ulrich, thank you so much for that analysis.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
That was BDK attorneys Ulrich Roux on the line chatting to us. But now